Hello, everyone. This is going to be our MLB 20 The Show franchise. We are going to go in here. First off, we got to pick what team we want to be. Now, I've had some thought, seen some, talked to a few of my friends, that type of stuff about who we wanted to be and what team we should try to rebuild. And so what we are thinking about doing is rebuilding the Detroit Tigers, but they will not be called the Tigers, and you will see our team reveal in a matter of moments here. Let's load up our saved rosters. This is the roster that I chose from Random Rosters. If you've played MLB the Show 20 in the past, you understand that he makes the best rosters. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go here to Detroit. We're going to replace with a custom team, and we are going to become the Scotland Spartans. Let's go into the game, folks. Now we're going to turn GM contracts off because, we don't want to get far into this and then all of a sudden our team get deleted or something along those lines. We don't want to get fired or anything like that. So we're going to start off with the GM contracts off, fantasy draft off, no legends. We don't want to play that way. We're not going to control the roster of the computer because we want to be realistic, let things happen. Computer trading is going to be on. That way other teams can trade. And our budget's going to be off, of course. Force trades off, and designator is just going to be on auto. Now, what I like to do is keep my scouting on auto, just because I feel like sometimes it takes too much time, and I do like scouting, but at the same time, I'm more about the gameplay and managing everything else. Manual for everything else, coaching manual, and as well as 40-man rosters, all that good stuff. We're going to start in spring training here, and we're going to take a look at our roster. First of all, if you look on the right-hand side, you see our jerseys. Those are our home jerseys. They say Spartans across the center. Our main colors are black, red, and dark blue. I think that they tend to really show how Scotland is and their colors there. And so we'll take first look into our rosters. Starting with our starting pitching, Matthew Boyd. I think he's a great starter, Could be someone who really helps us in the future. Now, this guy's a new guy in the game. I don't know much about him. I don't think he'll be in our long-term plans just because he's a D potential 78 overall player. He's kind of young at the age of 26, but just someone who's probably won't be in our future plans. We'll keep him for this year. Daniel Norris, guy who's had a lot of up and down years. I feel like when he first came into the majors, he had some great years. 2 years in a row where he had sub-4 ERA, and now he's down up in those 5s, 4s. So we'll see how he does for us this year. He might be someone we trade around the trade deadline. Zach Godley, former Diamondback, good player for 1 year. That's about it. We'll see what he does again. Similar thing. And then these two guys, Spencer Turnbull I don't think is that good in my personal opinion. No offense to you, Spencer, if you're watching this. But 17 losses, 4.61 ERA. It could be worse. It could be worse. And Michael Fulmer, I'm a little bit surprised they gave him this low of a rating. When he first came into the MLB, he was a great pitcher. I think that this year, if we can pitch well with him, then he could become our ace. I fully plan on him being the ace, sticking around. This is a new prospect in the organization, someone that I think could be great. Tariq Skubal. I don't think he was in the game last year. I don't know if they just drafted him. Jordan Zimmerman's got to go. $22 million, no thank you. Ivan Nova's got to go, 33. Not into it. Casey Mize, he will be part of our rotation someday. I have full faith in that. Don't know much about him. Matt Manning, same thing. I think he'll be in the rotation if we can pitch well with him. Alex Fado, kind of a prospect who kind of fell off the wagon there, isn't so good. Baez, same thing, and Tyler Alexander, same thing. These guys are older. I might put them in a package deal to trade someone, and we'll find out. Relief, there isn't a lot of great players. Jerson Moreno, maybe, if he pitches well. Bo Burrows, I love the dude in the past. He was always one of the prospects I'd always get as a pitcher. He used to have high B, low A potential, and now he's just... we'll see how it goes with him. Same with the rest of the relievers. There's no one that really stands out to me much here. Closer, Joe Jimenez. If he has a big year, he could be good. Not really sure. We'll see what happens. Jake Rogers, I want to become the everyday catcher. I think he has a lot of upside. He's only 24, B potential. He could be good. Austin Romine, I might have him just on the bench, probably nothing much. Grinder's going to be in AAA. And then there's no prospects here, as you can see. A big concern will definitely be catcher, something we'd like to look into. CJ Crone, I think that he's a good player. He's not a great player. He'll play against lefties. That's all I gotta say. Miguel Cabrera, a legend, absolute phenomenal player. I mean, has been great for so many years. Won a triple crown. Unfortunately, lost in the World Series to the San Francisco Giants, which is my favorite team. So I was happy, but moving forward, I want him to hit, enough home runs, hit that 500 mark. He's 23 away. I think it'd be cool. We'll see what happens. Again, farm system, not great. Frank Schwindel's a guy who I'll keep my eye on, but nothing crazy. Jonathan Scoop, former Baltimore Oriole. I mean, he had some great years. Didn't do that good with Minnesota. I mean, he's one of those guys who we'll see. I might trade him at the trade deadline. I'm not sure. Harold Castro, just a guy off the bench. Dal Lugo, sorry about my pronunciation. Decent player. Candelario, huge prospect in the Cubs organization. Never really panned out. Traded him over here to Detroit, who are now the Scotland Spartans. And, he's one of those guys who we'll see. Isaac Paredes, a great prospect. Could be someone that I could be the starting third baseman someday. After him, there's no one there. Nico Goodrum is an interesting player. I mean, he's 28, so he's not the youngest, but he can play everywhere, and he has great defensive stats. Decent hitter against lefties. Decent discipline too. So you know what? We'll see what he does. He'll probably be my starting shortstop for a while. Something we need to address in the draft for sure is a shortstop. Travis Demerite. He came up last year, and he wasn't great, but he has beat potential. He's 25. He can play all the outfield. Someone who I'm going to keep around for a while. Christian Stewart is one of those guys who just never really panned out. He's never had a great year. He's only been in the league for 2 years, but I feel like, he's someone who I could be without. And then no prospects in left. Center field, Jacoby Jones, failed prospect again. Riley Green. Now, this is a guy who I want to talk about. I mean, this guy was the Detroit Tigers' first-round draft pick last year. I think he has potential to become a great player. I'm going to start him in AAA to start off the year, but he's one of those guys who you never know what you're going to get with him. I've seen in the past some franchises he's been great, others he's been terrible. We'll see what happens. Daz Cameron, kind of the same. We'll see what happens. He's one of those guys where we'll see. Victor Reyes has a lot of upside. I mean, he's got decent speed, great outfielder, good contact versus right and left. I think he could be if he can really figure it out, I think he could definitely become the everyday center fielder or right fielder, whichever one I feel more comfortable with. I mean, he hit 304 last year, but it wasn't limited action, so we'll see what happens with him. Cameron Maven is just kind of a stopgap guy. He's older. He's bounced around the league a lot. I feel like he's never really had a great full season. He's had great parts of seasons, but nothing insane. Jorge Bonifacio looks like he could be someone who maybe just off the bench. Robert Campos, 18, that's great, but what else do you got going for you, dude? So that's the team. I don't know if this is a team that, could win a World Series anytime in the next 2-3 years. I'm hoping this could be a longer series, not one that it's just, you watch it once or twice and then that's the end of it. I like to think that we could have many episodes, lots of likes, all those things. So moving forward, I just want to first set my sponsorships like I did. Go over to my contracts over here for the scouts. I always like to get the best scouts possible. That way, when it is time for the draft, when I do auto draft, that is, they will find the best guys that are available. Something I'm thinking about exploring is having a friend of mine come in and be a commentator for some of the games. He's a little bit younger. He's a good buddy of mine, something along those lines. If that sounds like something that you're interested, then stay tuned for more. And that is our starting team. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.